Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Bar merch.
Here we are.
It's finally time, Daniel. Are you ready for this?
Song numero uno. This is the Daniel stream.
Yep.
This is the Daniel stream. Shout out to the big homie. An entire live stream dedicated to the specific picks from the big homie Daniel. We just did this for another bit. Who did we do that for recently? We did that 2 days ago.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Anthony.
Anthony. Shout out to Anthony.
Well, I kept trying to remember because you said it was corny that I called it the Anthony stream. So then you went into all these.
Well,
other
I call
names.
it the Tony stream.
Tony.
Okay. So now the big homie Daniel is in the same situation. We're doing this live, y'all, and it's look. We're on Facebook right now. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. Shout out to UStream. Gang gang.
Fuck with us.
Gang gang. We're going global, ladies and gentlemen,
Yep.
and we got more stuff coming down the pike. We have solved some of our some issues, and you know the announcements that we had all geared up for last month are going to be able to be made this month.
And somebody was like, "Oh, are you guys canceling the channel now?" I'm like, "No, we are revamping, and we're gonna get better."
No,
So,
they're gonna get so tired of seeing our ugly mugs.
you guys will be begging us to quit.
Yeah.
But please, just can't you start a cooking channel?
All right. Let's do it. Darkthrone-Quintessence. We are Christians, so this should be an interesting listen. You got the lyrics.
Yep.
Please get the lyrics.
I have them.
Speaking of lyrics, the lyrics are written by Varg Vierkenis, whatever his name is. Happy Juneteenth. Shout out to Varg.
Boy.
Happy Juneteenth, Varg. You racist bastard. I still love you, though. All right, let's do it, y'all. Darkthrone-Quintessence. Sori's going to eventually get the lyrics.
No, I already have the lyrics. Just start it.
Okay, let's go.
That's right.
Not what I was expecting.
Forgotten by mortal. I tried to death in a single thing. It's my why do I leave me alone? I feel it. The whole world was single thing. swollen. I slaughtered the one. Weightless eagling with my slave. 5 minutes, woman, so alone in the night. I had them all satisfied. Selfishly.
Gang, gang.
Every time of myself.
Everybody like himself. 5 million.
Thousands road, hard as a rock, cold as ice. They ran when I rose to face them. Waves that swallowed my ship. I steadily walked back home, and I only got wet on my feet. In my bed. In a question I cannot answer. Only one single life to show me this way. And that is the eye of Satan.
What happened?
Daniel right here. I'm
What?
gonna add him. Sori needed a glass of wine before this stream, methinks. Yes, Daniel. I didn't like this song at all.
What?
I did not like this song at all. And
okay. First of all,
it reminded me of a teenager, or like a fishing story.
I was looking at some of the comments. People didn't like the vocals. I love these vocals.
What?
You didn't like the vocals?
No,
Seriously?
No.
I like the vocals because it really sounded like a real person. Like, you know how... I'm terrible. Okay, so the Mariah Carey, right?
Okay.
Mariah Carey, like, technically she's like the greatest singer of all time in the pop world, basically.
Okay.
Like, the notes she can hit or whatever. Like, this is coming from Natalie. But, I mean, Natalie doesn't like Mariah Carey, so, you know, like, she's giving her flowers. But, so, like, Mariah Carey is technically the greatest pop singer ever, according to her. Because she can hit these, you know. But there's this girl from Flyleaf, the singer of Flyleaf. I like her way more than Mariah Carey. In my opinion, she's a better singer. Why? Because she sounds human to me. Mariah Carey is so good that she doesn't sound like a human being. Like, and when you're communicating art, it's gotta have that human element. So when I listen to a lot of the Cookie Monster type, you know, vocals and stuff, it doesn't sound like a real person. You know, it sounds all processed, and some of these guys are so good at it that they don't really... The whole point of that guttural sound was supposed to be that you're singing some desperation, but it's become a technique, and now, like, there's classes about it and everything. There's classes on how to be a guttural singer and all the rest of it. It's like... And I'm sure there's some, you know, positivity toward that, but my point is like, his vocal style sounded extremely human to me. So I don't know, like... Why there's all this pushback against the guy's vocal style? I thought that was the strongest part of the second strongest part of the song.
What was the strongest?
The
instrumentation.
The instrumentation.
Yeah.
I like that. Like,
I thought the instrumentation was good.
I like the fact that they didn't like change the tempo. They didn't change the pace. It was pretty much dun 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 dun, and then they just went an octave lower to continue it. A lot of people would look at that as boring, but sometimes the thing is just driving, and the song is trying to drive you into the ground. So I understood what they did.
I mean, for me, it seemed like those fish stories. You know, I got a fish this big, because all the stuff that he was saying was like, wow. Lyrically, I felt like it was a teenager.
I felt like it was almost tongue in cheek. Like, that's why I'm going to be extremely curious in the comment section. But, like, I took a lot of what he was saying as tongue-in-cheek and almost making fun of people who took this kind of music too seriously. Because, you know, he's talking about...
that's what he was doing?
Yeah, well, that's what I felt. Like, that last one, the thing that he said in the third verse was hilarious. And like I said...
The third verse?
Yeah, when he says...
The ship?
10 hungry waves, they swallowed my ship. Oh, I steadily walked back home and I only got wet on my feet. Like, that sounds like your parents telling you, like, you know, I walked 10 miles backwards in the snow without shoes on
you know what I thought of? I thought of Jesus walking on water. And so I didn't know if it was supposed to be like, how ridiculous.
Oh,
you
that's
know?
smart. That's smart. That's, that's a good point. It might be...
No single book were beholden by me.
Yeah,
and no question I cannot do answer.
I think what he's saying there is like he's not limited to like
one book,
right? Like one religion. Or
with
whatever.
that fits what I was saying before.
Yeah, and then of course he's got 5 women still alone in the night.
5 million women, babe, not 5 women.
Oh, that's
5 women. Okay, I feel like depending on how good he is, it might be able to do that. But 5 million.
Shout out to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but
there's not enough seconds in the night.
But you know, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to, you know, he had multiple wives. I mean, some have him having 8
women, some having 14 wives, whatever. But it's in the Sahih Hadith where it says it. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to make rounds every night with all of his wives. So, Allahu Akbar.
There's
Allah
literally no way you could do that.
Allah truly is the greatest.
There's no way you could do that without it getting to be not pleasurable anymore.
I mean, he had duties. And he was talking about the Hor Lane. He's talking about the Hor Lane, the woman of Jannah.
Yeah.
And you get these multitudes of women in Jannah. I mean, you get. I mean, the lowest level of Jannah has the 72 virgins. That's the lowest level of Jannah. Yeah, just for you. Like, everybody thinks that the virgins are just for like terrorists or people. Anybody who makes it to Jannah gets a harem of these Hor Lane, these virgins.
It's men. Men get there.
Astaghfirullah. Would you want 72 women in your paradise? What's going on there?
Yeah, I could boss them all around, and they could cook for me, clean for me.
You'll have slaves, no problem. But they, and so one of the followers of Muhammad, they said, Ya Rasulullah, how will we be able to 72, that's a lot of broads. And he said, don't worry, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the strength of 10 men or 100 men. I forgot what it was. And they said, Allahu Akbar.
Oh my God.
So that's what it reminded me of. He says he knocked out these 5 million. He knocked out 5 million broads in one night. And they were all satisfied. That's the other side of it.
Profusely.
Profuse. This dude is legendary.
In his own mind.
He's
you know what it reminded me of too? You remember on the throne? What?
A comment of the night. I believe that would be one woman every .006 seconds in an 8-hour night with 5 million women, but I could be wrong.
That's what I'm saying. I said there was not enough seconds in the night.
It's light work.
Oh my word.
Boom! Boom!
Stop,
boom!
babe! That's so disgusting. Anyway, listen. Do you know what it reminded me of? You remember that?
That's a lot of mother-in-law.
Game of Thrones.
Blue meanie. It's a lot of mother-in-laws. No shit.
Remember the Game of Thrones?
Yeah, what about it?
Remember there was that one guy that had all those women in the woods, and then they came up, but they didn't all look pleasured. They all looked pregnant.
Disgusting.
But not
Absolutely
pleasured.
Disgusting.
He was a nasty man.
Absolutely. Nasty man.
Yeah, normally I feel like really agitated when you say that, like
what?
With like Muhammad or like them with all the women or something like that. But I feel like actually this is the first time in my life I actually would feel bad for the guy in that situation. Because I think at first the idea sounds fun probably, like all these women, blah, blah, blah. But the drama that has got to be in the mix of all that. Well, we were watching this Mormon documentary, and you were seeing like how they live with their multiple wives, and it was, you could tell they weren't trying to make it look like it was a big dramatic scene, but at the same time you could tell there was a lot of jealousy.
There was some difficulty.
You could tell on the men's faces that it was like, ugh.
There was some difficulty.
Yeah, he was like, there was some difficulty. He was like trying to like joke with her and keep everything light, but she was pregnant. She's trying to share her husband with some. It's just too much. It's too much to ask. And then I think about that guy. Remember when he was like, might be like wife number 3 or something like that, and he was like possibly like kind of like in the dating session with her, and he was like wrestling her into the pool. And I'm like, this is so awkward for his other wives to watch.
Daniel's saying we might have gotten the wrong lyrics. I don't know what he means by that.
We're just looking on.
We're on Genius. I mean, it looked like
it followed it with the song.
It followed pretty closely with the song. He was talking about the 10,000 waves.
Mm-hmm.
But lyrically, I mean, aside from the tongue-in-cheek stuff, I thought lyrically. So in hip hop, there's this genre it's a lot of the conscious rappers. Rakim was really the guy that started it, where they would use numerology in their raps. So Rakim like kind of made it famous, and then Nas, that was a big thing with Nas. He would use numerology, and like that shows up like on songs like One Mic. right?
Yes, we have the exact same lyrics. I just clicked on your link, Daniel.
Yeah. So like Nas, Jesus
Yeah.
died at age 33. That's
did it in your
23,
raps,
2
too.
shots. That's 32, which means one of my guns is holding 17. 27 hit your crew, 6 went into you. Like all the numerology that happens. And then that's when Jay-Z used that against Nas. 4 albums in 10 years, I can divide. That's one let's every 2. 2 of them shits is due. One of them was the other was Illmatic. That's a 1 hot album every 10-year average. So when he starts off and he's using these numbers, I'm like, holy shit, and of course with, Satanism
8 miles deep.
Right.
Yeah.
8 miles deep.
8 miles wide.
8 miles wide.
Single fist,
5 million
5
Christians, 5 million women, 10,000 trolls,
Yeah.
10 hungry waves, no single book.
Yeah.
Only one single lamp. So he uses numerology in a really cool way.
Yeah.
And I really, really enjoyed that part of it. It was just very hard to take. And like I said, I think that they were using... That Varg was maybe using some tongue-in-cheek type of thing to be like, look, guys, don't take this stuff so seriously. Like, some of this shit is funny. But I just... 8 miles deep, the well forgotten by mortals. That's really interesting because, usually it's 6 feet, right? Like 6 feet deep. So I took the 8 number to be the realm beyond death. Because 6 feet is the grave. 7 is the number of perfection for
what's
God.
that
So he
movie?
couldn't use 7. So then he used 8.
That movie, The 8th Mile.
Well, 8
What
Mile
is the 8th Mile?
is Detroit. That's like the streets. You know how here it's the tree streets? Well, there it's the number streets.
Oh.
Yeah. So I just took the number 8 to be a numerology thing. But he didn't want to say 7 because 7 is God's number. So he said 8. So 8. So that verse, I was like, okay, so that verse is talking, 8 miles deep. It's talking about, the afterlife, the underworld, whatever. 5 million Christians right on towards us. I slaughtered the bunch with one single hit with my spear. And then 5 million women. So the second verse is really about, if you want to talk about toxic masculinity, this is Lamech on crack, right? Because in the Bible, you got this guy named Lamech, and Lamech is introduced as a guy who cavorts with multiple women and a very violent killer. As a matter of fact, outside of the Garden of Eden, the first poem or song that the Bible records a human being singing is Lamech. And in the song, Lamech calls to his 2 wives. This is Adha and Zillah. I think Zilla means she had a big ass. I think
For real?
I was listening to a sermon one time, and I think it was MacArthur, and he's like, Zilla means big ass. He's like, that's what he knew her as. He didn't know her as anything else. But anyway, he's rapping to these girls about how a dude stepped on his shoe and how he killed him, basically, and he's bragging about it. So when I saw this one, I was like, oh my God, this is Lamech again. He's bragging about his violence, and he's bragging about being able to cavort with all these women. And so that is significant from that perspective. I'm like, holy shit, this is Lamech all over again. So that was really cool. And then the third verse was 10,000 trolls, hard as a rock, cold as ice. They wrote this in 1995.
Yeah.
So the term trolling was
not established yet.
Was not established
Well, no,
yet.
when it says hard as rock, cold as ice.
Yeah, it was
it's
actual
like
trolls. Yeah. They ran when I rose to face them. 10 hungry waves. This third verse right here is what made me laugh so hard because I was like, this is like Chuck Norris. You ever see those Chuck Norris memes? It's like when Chuck Norris was born, he smacked the doctor. Shit like that. So I was like, okay, this third verse is just completely just him Chuck Norrising the whole thing and
over the top
and saying like, I did all these crazy things.
I used to work with teenagers, and they always had the wildest stories that I never believed. And I'd always be like, oh my gosh, that's so interesting, because I didn't know what else to say. And then when I started spending time around Vin, and like somebody was lying, he'd be like, yo, bro, you're lying. And I was like, surprised that you would say that. And then they would admit to it sometimes. It was just weird, And so I've started to try to like adopt that if I see that somebody's like sometimes I just let them go with their stories when they're kids because I want to see how far they'll take it. Really?
That's what we had this kid named Jared in our crew. And yeah. We be like, stop lying, nigga. You do that shit, nigga. Stop lying. And it was always like some obvious shit too, like
yeah, I know.
Yo, I was on the train and like these 3 Bloods got at me, but you know I had to handle my shit, blah blah blah. It's like, man, we've seen you, bro. Like, we saw that one time and that one little dude
Never
confronted
happened.
you in the locker room and you were scared to death, nigga. Stop lying. So that was verse 3, and then no single book were beholden to me. Oh, no question I cannot do answer. Only one single lamp do show the way, and that is the eye of Satan. So he's not Satan, but Satan's light is guiding him, which the scripture does say that the devil operates like an angel of light. Mm-hmm. So I he's like, you can remove the lyric up top now. Now we're gonna replace this one, you dumb butt. I really, really like the song. I love the musicianship. I love the vocals. This is probably some of my favorite, like, death vocals, whatever people want to call it. Lyrically, I think there's a lot more we could have dug out. Like, for example, what is this well he's talking about? I drank it empty in a single sip. There's probably some cultural references there that we're missing. But I thought all around it was a great song. The tongue-in-cheek stuff, I'm not disappointed in the sense of I don't like it. Just in the sense of, but I mean, either way, I mean, this song is probably like one of these seminal tracks, right? Where people like got turned on to dark metal, extreme metal, black metal or whatever. So from that perspective, I'm sure people take it seriously, but you know, anyway. So it's a 9.4 for me. I truly loved it.
It's a 5 for me. I'm sorry, Daniel. The tongue-in-cheek mixed in with like that type of vocal style, and just I couldn't take it seriously. So I'm sorry.
Oh, look right here. The well of Mimir that Odin drank from.
Oh.
Okay, so Odin drank from this well. Odin's big thing was he was trying to get knowledge or wisdom or something. He had to sacrifice his eye to do it. I think he like hung on a tree or something for it. Self-crucified and missed the right tree.
Oh.
But it probably had something to do with the well. So, like, if you drink from this well, you ingest all the wisdom. And this guy was able to ingest all of this in a single sip. So it's more of this, like...
I see.
You know,
it goes
whatever.
more into the same thing.
Yeah. Good one.
All right.
All right. What did you give it?
I gave it a 5.
Oh, my gosh. Sori has no taste. Then out.
Sorry, out.
Gone.